So last time I did a challenge on Halo Reach, it ended in failure. Like, real bad. So I decided that I want to return to Reach to do something simpler and much easier than I anticipated. With that being said, what are the rules? I may only use plasma weapons, no melee, frag grenades, or vehicle weapons, and it's on normal difficulty. Despite the challenge not really being, well, a challenge, it was interesting nonetheless. This is more of a weapon showcase anyway. Without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Adding this in super last minute, but we have a Discord server now, and if you would like to join, the link is in the description. I have to say that my Spartan looks damn good in purple. I changed his primary color to fit the theme of the video. Mission 1 starts off rather simply. There wasn't a whole lot I could do since I didn't have a plasma weapon yet, but that was an easy fix. Once we made contact with the Covenant, I just had to wait for Noble to kill a grunt. Once I got my hands on a plasma pistol, I then quickly realized how good the PP actually is in the game. It actually caught me off guard with how good it was. Once I encountered the Elite Ultras, I killed one of them and acquired a plasma repeater, and while it's not very ammo efficient, it's good and very fun to use. After all the Covenant here were taken care of, I hop in this makeshift Warthog and take the opposite route I usually take, so that way the missing troopers are in this location. Gotta mix it up every once in a while. Only a few minutes into this challenge, and I already feel like I can take on the whole Covenant fleet. Not literally, of course, but it was nice being able to actually fight back. One tense but badass cutscene later, and I'm back in the fight. And again, like the rest of this level, it was a cakewalk. I just had to wait for George to kill a grunt or a jackal, and then I took care of the rest. Those zealots never knew what hit them. And just like the first level, I had to wait for another ally to kill an enemy so I could pick up the mandatory weapons. Once I got my hand on a PP, yes, I'm aware how that sounds, in no time I got my hands on a plasma rifle and cleared out the Covenant in this first area. When I made it to the other side of the gate, I took this ghost from a grunt and booked it to the next objective. I killed the Ultra on top of the roof, activated the anti-air gun, then made my way to the next objective. Once I made it there, I turned on the generator, activated the comms array, and then rushed my way back to Sword Base. When I got back there, I had a bit of a power struggle with the hunters guarding the elevator. Having gotten used to the way the hunters fight in Halo 2, I was severely underestimating them here. The second attempt really wasn't any better. I didn't even die to the hunters on the third attempt. The fourth attempt was going a lot better than all the others, but the second hunter decided to backhand the fuck out of me. The fifth attempt just simply hurt. And it wasn't until the sixth attempt that I was finally able to take out both hunters successfully. Once Kat and I made it up to the elevator, I then ran straight to the top where Emil was, took out the invisible elites, and then patiently waited as Emil destroyed the Banshees and Phantom for me. Nightfall, like every other challenge I do, is always done quickly. I pick up a plasma rifle from this weapon crate, run past every Covenant encounter, and then fail miserably at standing my ground. Then died again trying to perform the skip here.
Themselves a big gun.
I couldn't even tell you what happened here.
They say that silent guys are done.
But thankfully I got my shit together and on the fourth attempt, raced to the end of the level. Once again, I have to wait for my allies to kill a grunt or a jackal for me so I can get a plasma pistol. When I did get my hands on one, the Covenant in this area were easily dealt with. I got a little in over my head when I got to the AA gun because I immediately got killed.
Waiting on new intel. See what you can see. Carter out.
The second go around, I played it a bit safer and was able to take out the Elite General and the AA gun. When trying to cross the bridge here, I made a fatal error in my driving. Then when trying to pick up a new PP, I got obliterated.
Take that south road and see if we can get a better look at those spires.
And when I got to the mining facility, I then made the same mistake of being in over my head and quickly got put down by the shade turret. After the Covenant were dealt with here, I picked up a plasma rifle, climbed up this roof to bypass some encounters, then made a few well-placed jumps to bypass some more encounters. I picked up the plasma launcher lying on the ground here, accidentally ran over a jackal so I had to revert to last checkpoint.
I want you to neutralize that gun by any means necessary.
then successfully made it to the next AA gun. Trying to take out the hunters was going fine until they got a good shot off on me. But the second go around I decided to prioritize the AA gun, then focus on the remaining Covenant forces. The ride over to the Spire wasn't too bad, but since I wasn't able to fight back, I just had to sit and hope for the best. Thankfully, it only took me 3 attempts to get past this Falcon fight section. Once I was back on the ground, I booked it straight to the Spire, picked up a plasma rifle from this weapon crate, and wasted no time wasting this Elite Ultra and his comrades. And one last thing before moving on to this next level, I've always been in awe at the sheer scale of the Covenant supercarrier. Like, seriously, just take a look at it. In typical Long Night of Solace fashion, the first fight on the ground is a cakewalk. I just had to wait again for an ally to kill something and then I was good to go. Once the ground battle was over, it was then time to hop in the Saber and have a long, drawn out space fight. And if it wasn't obvious enough, this is where the challenge technically dies. But like all the other runs, I decided not to count it and continue forth. 10 minutes later and I'm inside the Corvette. Once inside, it was incredibly easy to kill all the Covenant on board and let George in. When I made it to the control deck, it was another cakewalk, and mostly thanks to the fact that I'm on a Covenant ship, so there was no shortage of plasma weapons. The battle back by the Pelican was yet another cakewalk. Not even the three Elite Ultras gave me any issues, but that's because I blew their asses sky high. Once that battle was over, it was then time to say goodbye to George. After going through some emotional turmoil thanks to the loss of George, I was able to dust myself off and get back into the plasma madness. While I don't start with the plasma weapon, thankfully all I have to do is bait out one of the suicide grunts and then I'm in business. The brutes were unexpectedly very easy to kill with plasma weapons. Just a few shots with the pistol and an unshielded brute went down in no time. That point was then further proven once more reinforcements were dropped off and I killed the 2 chieftains with no trouble at all. But before that even happened, here's some weird Halo Reach physics. Anyway, with the Covenant dealt with here, it was time to move on to the jetpack section. I, once again, in typical Tristan fashion, was in over my head, again, and got beaten to oblivion. And then I messed up a very easy jump. Then a grunt had a last laugh. And then I just simply ate shit by the hands of this brute with a concussion rifle. Long story short, I died a lot here just because I thought I was more powerful than I actually was, and I wanted to kill the Covenant here as compared to running past everything like I usually do. But hey, what's one more death? You know, for good measure. Once I got up to where the shade turrets were, I focused more on the immediate threats, that being the Brute Chieftain and his gang of angry apes. After I took them out, I had a close call destroying the turrets, hopped in the Falcon here, and since I couldn't fight back, I just had to sit back and watch the mayhem unfold. After I was dropped off, I booked it to this door here so that way I can kill the 2 Brute Chieftains here so that way they wouldn't give me any issues later. Once that was done, I activated the first missile battery, gave this wraith the taste of its own medicine, activated the second missile battery, and then ran straight to the command console. This level ended up being an interesting one, unfortunately a failed one due to my impatience in trying to finish it before I had to leave for work. IRL stuff kinda sucks. But to start, I decided I wanted to try and hijack a Banshee, which I did successfully first try, and then flew straight to the hospital. When I got there, I ran past all the Covenant and thankfully found a plasma rifle just lying on the ground. Now that I had a way to defend myself, I killed the engineer. I know, shame on me. The brutes, and then killed the elite reinforcements. And I will just add, elite ultras in this game mean business. After getting blown up by the elite's fastball, I made my way back up, called for reinforcements, and flew to my next objective. Once I got there, I killed my gunner and then tried to kill the grunt on the shade turret. Second go around went a lot better. I was able to take out the shade turrets and then made my Fucking damn it. Second go around went a lot better. I was able to take out the shade turrets and then made my way to the club with the hunters and destroyed the second Covenant jammer. I then flew to my next mini objective and helped these marines kill this pack of brutes. And then last but not least, the final jammer. I flew in under enemy lines, shut down the jammer, and then flew back out. Now the part that deemed this level a failure was the heavy shade turrets. I simply didn't have enough ammo or firepower to destroy all of them with plasma weapons. At most, I was only able to destroy 2 with the weapons at my disposal. The only other strategy I tried was hijacking a Banshee and using its plasma turrets to destroy them, but time and time again I was not able to get one. Since I was on a time crunch and had to leave for work very soon, I decided to use the Falcon's gun and call it a day. Long story short, I'm sure this level is possible with only plasma weapons, but if you're prepared for the shade turrets at the end. One cat assassination later, and it's time for the package. This first section was a little brutal at first, but once I got my hands on a plasma weapon, it was yet another cakewalk. I got on a ghost and boosted my way to the 2 AA guns, took them out of commission, then boosted my way to the spot with all the Covenant heavy weaponry. The ghosts weren't any issue, but once it came time to deal with the Revenants and the shade turrets, that's when I really started having problems. When I got back to this section here, the grunts decided to get their revenge from the last attempt. I then had a close call thanks to the Grunt's methane pack. Thankfully, the third attempt was the one that stuck, and I was able to move forward through Sword Base. Once inside, I plowed through all the jackals, killed all the Spec Op elites with no trouble, then embarrassed this elite general. The last firefight section to defend Halsey's lab was about as simple and as easy as it got. I did most of the heavy lifting by going out and killing all the small fry and picking up whatever new plasma weapon I saw along the way. 10 minutes later, and the final wave of reinforcements were dropped off. I embarrassed this elite general as well. And was allowed access to Halsey's lab. After being entrusted with Cortana, Carter, Emil, and I parted ways with June and made our way to the pillar bottom. To this day, I'd still like to find out why, for MCC, they removed the achievement for assassinating the elite to break your fall. And with that being said,
Stay alert. The lead's on the heat. Just deliver that package. Hello, Destination 6.
I'm not reverting to last checkpoint just because I got that first try. I don't care. Besides, we all know this level would end up being the same as all the others. Wait for an ally to kill a grunt or something, pick up the weapon, so on and so forth. But with all of that being said, I hopped in this mongoose and raced past everything until I got to the section with the Wraith and Suicide grunts. I made sure to keep my distance from them and had no trouble taking them out. After that was done, I got to witness Carter Kamikaze, that kind of has a beat to it. After that was done, I got to witness Carter Kamikaze himself into the scarab so Emil and I could pass. And I just have to say, I absolutely love this game, but it is so depressing. Anyway, I made my way through the drone-infested cave, ran past all the Covenant here, and showed this elite Ultra who was their superior soldier. When I got to the section with the hunters and skirmishers, I was here a bit longer than I care to admit, because I was once again underestimating the hunters. The hunters also didn't really care for me either. Cue example. The third attempt was no better than the last. This pair of hunters have a weird obsession of punching me through shipping containers. And lastly, I got backhanded by the hunter that was specifically focused on Emil. After getting my ass handed to me, I finally overcame the hunter duo and made my way through the factory. Once I made it to the landing pad, I had no trouble dealing with all the brutes and other cannon fodder. Not even the chieftains were an issue. And in no time, I cleared the landing pad, handed Keith the package, and once again witnessed Emil. Well, you know.
Who's next? I'm ready! How about you?
Seeing how I already had plasma weapons, I decided to go gung-ho crazy on all the elites that helped hunt down Noble Team. The first zealot was an embarrassment to his species. The second and third zealots put up more of a fight than the last one. And then the Field Marshal was the most dangerous of the bunch, but still didn't stand a chance. Once they were all dealt with, I disrespected the two elites that took down Emil and waited for the cruiser to be in position for me to shoot it. With the cruiser down, the pillar bottom was off, and it was time for Noble 6 to make his final stand, which unfortunately didn't last too long because of the overwhelming amount of Covenant troops. So, was this challenge possible? Technically no, but also yes. Again, I'm not getting into the specifics. With that being said though, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and despite it being a simpler and easier challenge, thank you all for the people who watch and support the channel. As always, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. God loves you, and I'll see you all in the next one.